Welcome into the program, everybody. This is Alabama Unfiltered Radio. I'm Scott Beason. I hope you're having a great Friday. It is the 10th day of July in the year of our Lord, 2026. A lot of stuff going on. I think today is going to be a What the Flip Friday. Just because there's so many things out there that I'm like, what the flip is going on? Should we start with national stuff? Sky, how are you?
I'm great. Fantastic. It's a beautiful Friday. And ready to rock.
You just feel good?
Yeah, feel great.
All right, the Zoom is up. No, let's see. Well, now I have to tell you. Now we're back to the old way. So, okay. It's all working. All is good. All is coming on. So let's start with the Alabama story.
Okay.
From a couple of days ago. Let's see if I can find that. This is sometimes when I save these stories, it doesn't like to work right. But did y'all see the story where B.F. Goodrich was shutting down their facility, I guess over in the Tuscaloosa area, going to cause a lot of Alabamians to lose their jobs, and it's a sad thing. I mean, I hate it. It's one of those things that happens. I hope everybody's able to, find something else to do. And where is it? Come on now. I'm searching for the news over on 1819 News. Well, where is who? There is. Let's see. And it turns out that Doug Jones, and who's the guy that's running for lieutenant governor on the Democrat side, was with him.
Couldn't tell you.
Can't even tell you his name yet.
Don't know.
I'm trying to find it. Gracious day.
Don't you hate it when you save one of those stories and then 2 days later it's unsaved?
I will tell you this, since nobody cares when I've said this before, so I'll go ahead and tell you. The way I usually do the show, since I'm using Apple products, they have a thing called a reading list. And I guess PCs have the same thing. But if you find an article that you're interested in, you put it in your reading list, and then I have a little list that pops up on the side. Hey, these are all the things that you found that you might be interested in the show. Well, you remember all the times I complain about my computer, where it gets the beach ball and it just spins and spins and spins and spins. Well, I have figured out that if I save a reading list article from Fox News, from 1819 News, and a handful of other sites, because my computer's old, that is what jams me up. And I don't know what it does, if it's tracking, if it's got too many cookies. I don't understand. But once I've got this handful of sites that I have written down that I'm like, you cannot save from there. If you do, you just have to write down a little note and go back and find it again next time. But do not save to your reading list or you will get jammed up. And since I've done that, do what now?
How often do you update your phone, clear your cache and all that?
I do. I have to do that if I do that.
Okay,
if I do it today, the only way I'll ever get it to come back on my computer. Now, it doesn't bother my phone. It bothers my computer. And my computer is older. So what I have to do is I have to turn on Safari, which is my browser. And within the first few seconds, I have to go to Preferences, delete the history. I have to turn it back on. Well, before I do that, okay. I delete those sites from my reading list, and then it'll jam up. Then I turn it off, turn it back on. I go to my history, get rid of it. And if I have time, empty out the cookies. And if I have time, go all the way to cache. But if whatever comes on, beach ball, you're done.
Man,
and you can play around.
How old is your computer?
Oh, it's old.
Okay.
But here's the weird thing. There is only 2 or 3 sites that I go to regularly that if I save their article, it causes it to happen. So my guess is, and look, this is not a knock on any particular site. My guess is whatever software underlies some of these sites, Citizens Free Press is another one that if I just, it will get you.
I'm familiar with them.
So I avoid them because, I mean, they're just a little old Drudge Report kind of list, but
weird things happen on that site.
Yes.
Surprising things.
Yeah. So it's one of those things where my guess is they're using the same cookie system. Hey, where are you? Where are you reading from? What are you interested in? That everybody uses, but there's a common thread in there, and it just makes it crash out. So I don't know exactly which one it is, but the rest of the story
is that you do show prep from all this. That's
I didn't say I did a lot.
okay. All right.
I read and look at a lot of stuff. I just there's a couple of different rules. One is if everyone else is talking about it, I try to avoid it.
Say that again for the people in the back that call me up and
If
aren't you talking about what everybody else is talking about?
If everyone else is talking about it, a lot of times I try to avoid it.
Which
I've always thought that was a good plan.
It is. It is. Otherwise, why bother listening to
Yes.
this show?
I agree. And then, we've been very successful with being a little bit different. But if you can turn on the national shows and hear the same thing ad nauseum, if you can watch Fox News and see the same thing ad nauseum, and we don't mind bringing it up if you have a different take, or if I have a different take than what I see. That's why I have a story today that is a little bit different, maybe a little bit of a question than some of what the national people have said, because it's all the same. You can listen to morning shows. I'm not saying our morning show in the river region does the same, but you can listen to morning shows. You can switch over to national shows. You can do whatever, and it's the same story. And I'll be honest with you. Many times the national shows are all on the same page, because I know it's shocking, but the quote-unquote conservative news runs out with the same kind of talking point list that the liberal news did for Joe Biden and for Barack Obama. And now it's not exactly the same. They will get a little bit off when things start popping up that they can't ignore. Okay, so they're more than fine. Hey, we're walking lockstep. We're in line. This is the talking point. This is where we're going. It comes from the White House or comes from the NRCC. This is where we are. This is our take. And then there'll be people on the fringes. I might be one of them. Then you got some national guys on the fringes. And when facts start coming up that you're like, I can't ignore that anymore, conservative media will start to run a couple little stories on that, and then it might catch on and might get out there. Now, the leftist media, they stick with the talking points. There's no getting off the reservation. You shall not leave the plantation no matter what, and they are in no matter what. Conservative media often will be like, go! I don't want to. I can't. I got to support the... Go! Somebody needs to say something. That's what happens to them. And that's why they're sometimes a week or so behind when it comes to some of these issues.
Right. But it's also predictable.
Yes. No doubt about that. Well, I'll give you an example of what I'm talking about. Let's see if I can find that. I saw that this morning. So what is the conservative news take of this trial going on with Charlie Kirk's possible or alleged assassin? Well, the conservative take is the kid did it. The kid did it. The kid's got a transgender boyfriend/girlfriend, and they did it. Or he did it, right? That's it.
Right.
Nothing to see. Move along. Over. That's all. Anybody who says anything different for the past year, crazy, can't listen to, probably hateful, disgusting, and arguably anti-Semitic. If you haven't figured out why that is part of the charge, then you're way, way behind on what is out there. But where was it? Gateway Pundit, very arguably one of the leading conservative news sites in the country, has a piece this morning after pretty much avoiding it altogether. Where is it? I'm going to help you with it. Where is it? Golly, tell me it's not been moved somewhere already. If I find it. Hold on. I'm waiting for you. Did y'all see the National Guard thing? Did y'all see the guy attacked by the lion?
Yes.
And how he got out of it?
I just scrolled past it.
He started petting it like it was a cat. And
Don't try this at home, kids.
Yeah, apparently it started.
You're results may vary.
Yeah, it would eat me, just eat my whole arm off when I was trying to do it. But anyway, there's some stuff that's been brought up in the case that they're like, oh my gosh. Okay, we're going to have to talk about that because you just can't get around it. Oh, here it is. Judicial Watch. Listen to this guy. FBI records reveal a witness's account that a SWAT officer recovered a remote device from Thomas Crook's pocket. So the question is, we've never heard about that before?
No, that's news.
Yeah. It's a little gray looking, looks like a remote control with a keypad on it. Gray remote device with an antenna and numerical push buttons directly from the pocket of the dead. No, that is of the dead shooter. Oh, I was talking about Charlie Kirk. This is Butler County, the assassination attempt on the president. Okay. We got to take a break. But still, there's nothing to see here. Move along. We know it all. Over with. Cremated guy, done. No reason to do an investigation.
Of course not.
And now we find out from Judicial Watch, oh, he had a remote device. Is that just probably just to get in the basement back home, to get the garage door to open?
Yeah, that's all.
Alabama Unfiltered Radio with Scott Beason.
Scott Beason, president of ARP, Alabama Recovering Politicians.
Welcome back in, everybody. So the story I was trying to get to before we ran down that rabbit hole and everywhere else, just talking about how the fact we just don't do the same show everybody else does. And I guess I could have done that a lot quicker. Here's the story I was trying to get to, Sky. Interesting story. April Marie Fogel wrote this. You can find it over at 1819 News. The guy's name is Ensler, by the way. The guy running for lieutenant governor as a Democrat in the state of Alabama is Ensler. Here's the first paragraph. Democratic lieutenant governor nominee Philip Ensler and former U.S. Senator and gubernatorial candidate Doug Jones traveled to Tuscaloosa together to blame President Donald Trump and U.S. Senator Tommy Tuberville for the closure of the B.F. Goodrich tire plant that will impact approximately 1,200 employees. Now, as is usually the case, here's what Ensler said. It is not high wages that are closing these plants. That's absolutely accurate.
Brilliant. Okay.
It is high tariffs. It's economic policies coming on a national level. Then Jones added, Phil said something really important. It was not the union wages that closed this plant, folks. It was not the union. This was Trump tariffs. This was Tuberville tariffs, Jones explained. In a statement released days before the video, the company contradicted Jones and Ensler's statements, explaining that two of their plants in the United States, the Tuscaloosa plant and the Fort Wayne, Indiana plant, operate well below their designed capacities. Hey, we're not doing as much. We're just not doing as much in these two plants as we need to be doing. And I'm throwing this in here, my explanation, to get it all in a nutshell. One of them's got to go.
Right, you've got to consolidate.
We got two that aren't doing what they need to do. Basically, the Tuscaloosa plant is going to be more difficult to get up to full speed to double up. So the Fort Wayne factory is the one. It says, due to the size, footprint, and infrastructure of the Fort Wayne factory, that site is better positioned to consolidate the capacity and meet future demands for the success of B.F. Goodrich tires. Unfortunately, we could not identify any feasible structure that would enable us to continue operating in Tuscaloosa while also supporting long-term value creation across our factories in North America. And then it explains how they have an increase in competition in their main line, which is off-road performance tires, et cetera, et cetera. And then it explains how no one's having to go anywhere till sometime in 2028. But Doug Jones and Ensler are out saying things that the company's not saying. Note that. Doug Jones, and I could go through some of this, but Doug Jones is under the misconception that he became a United States Senator on the strength of Doug Jones. That's where Doug Jones is confused. Doug Jones became a United States Senator and a quote-unquote political power or entity because the Republican Party establishment decided that they did not like Roy Moore, and Richard Shelby and his helpers sunk Roy Moore. Because heaven forbid we have someone who apparently a little bit ahead of the curve is basically where all of us are now. Was it not Roy Moore who said, hey, this LGBTQ thing is this ain't going to go. This is off the hinge. You're going to see crazy train stuff. And have we?
Yes, we have.
Absolutely. Hey, we got to, we really, really, really need to pay attention to what the Constitution says. There's a lot of people who are just, playing willy-nilly fast and free with the Constitution, and we can't. Now, is that popular in 2026? Absolutely it is.
Much more so. Yeah.
Hey, we need to, maybe we need to think about what God says about some things a little bit more. Maybe what he says is more important than what the pagans say, because what the pagans say seems to lead to destruction. Does that sound as crazy as we were told it was just a few years ago?
Remember, at the beginning of a movement, the patriot is often hated and scorned. And then as other people catch on,
Yeah.
it becomes popular, and he is forgotten.
Well,
got left behind.
I understand that.
Yeah.
Somebody said to me, Scott Beason, I hadn't figured out why you're awful and terrible, and now the president ran on what you used to say. I'm like, well, you're a little bit.
Don't be the first one.
Don't
through
be the
door.
first guy.
You're going to get blasted.
First turkey that sticks his head up.
But somebody's got to do it.
But Doug Jones has this impression that it was the power of his political astuteness that caused the Republican Party establishment to go out and actively say, vote for the Democrat. Now, Katie Britt was part of that, right? Because she worked for Richard Shelby. And it is alleged that she had a lot of Democrat crossover vote help for her to win the alleged. I don't know. But I want to ask you a question. As I say that, this just pops into my head, Sky. So I say that Doug Jones is misunderstanding his influence and how much people like him. Then it was Richard Shelby and the establishment and the National Republican Party. I've always been told that the idea and the plan to get Roy Moore came from Republican consultants, possibly out of the state of Florida. National consultants. I mean, I'm just saying. I've heard that. Not making any allegations. Heard that. Then you fast forward, you get the Richard Shelby component, his chief of staff or whatever, Katie Britt, helping. There's more to that story as well. And everybody's like, you don't know, Scott. Well, I know what Doug Jones said in the past, but let me ask you something about this article. Okay? Doug Jones and Philip Ensler go to Tuscaloosa, and they say that the B.F. Goodrich plant, which is going to have to lay off somewhere around 1,200 people from the state of Alabama, closing, is whose fault, Sky?
Trump and Tuberville.
How many U.S. senators do we have?
We have 2 from this state, and we have 52 total, I believe.
Yeah,
What-
100. We have 100 U.S. senators.
Right.
We have
50 states.
50 states.
Times 2.
Times 2. That's right. Yeah. So I just want y'all to note, Doug Jones goes and says,
57.
who's at fault? 57 is Barack Obama's number.
Right.
Who's at fault for the economic policies that he is claiming have caused these jobs to have to go in the state of Alabama? Donald Trump and Tommy Tuberville.
Predictable.
Where is the second Alabama U.S. Senator? She's not responsible for any of the economic policies of Republicans?
Just one of the 2. Just one.
Just one.
Right.
Now, you can make the argument that, well, he's running against Tommy Tuberville, so he needs to throw Tommy Tuberville in the Donald Trump camp. Okay? Right. But some people would make the argument that he purposefully leaves off Senator Britt because she might be the buddy. Might have helped him be a U.S. Senator. Might be cool with the Democrat base.
It's very telling when you think about it like that.
Hey, let's don't rouse, don't wake the dragon. Am I just seeing this wrong?
No, I hadn't considered it really. But why not? Why not the other senator?
They're both Republicans, aren't they?
They both support Trump.
They both support
and
Trump.
He's the boogeyman.
They're both all in there.
Huh.
I just find it fascinating, Doug. Why didn't you throw Katie Britt in there? She's not responsible for any of that. Doug, did you just forget? You got a little Biden forgetfulness there? Hey, to be fair, the president did say Islamic Republic of Japan or whatever yesterday, the day before. That's funny. We got to take a break again. We'll be back.
You're listening to Alabama Unfiltered Radio with Scott Beason.
Scott Beason, president of ARP, Alabama Recovering Politicians.
Alabama Unfiltered Radio with Scott Beason.
Welcome back, everybody. So let's get out to your phone calls. That way we don't have to just, because don't want to make them wait over through the interview. Let's go to Red Top, and then after Red Top, we got Roke on tour to get our update. Red Top, what's up?
Well, first of all, Roy Moore was an embarrassment to this state, and I'm sorry. I ain't going fall for this glorification of his ideas.
So you were for Doug. You were for Doug Jones.
No, I didn't say
No.
that.
That's your two choices, Red Top. I'm sorry. I take a lot of gruff from you. But explain to me, you had two choices, so you decided Doug Jones would be a better U.S. senator, so we would not have the votes to get some of the things done we needed to get done, like get rid of Obamacare. That's what you decided.
Sir, you don't know what I.
No. I'm going by what you told me. You said he was an embarrassment, and you knew you were virtue signaling to me that I was glorifying him, and that you knew better. So we ended up with Doug Jones. I'm not mad at you. I don't know why you can say I'm a dummy, and then when I ask you what you tell me, you get mad at me.
Did you take psycho pills this morning?
Well, I just get sometimes I lose it because people do that. I had a lot of that before. I've seen it in a lot of campaigns where, well, I don't like the Republican because he's an embarrassment. He doesn't look good. So let's just end up with the Democrat. That's how we got Joe Biden.
Okay. Well,
no, it was.
Okay,
Trump was terrible. Trump was a terrible human being. Trump was awful. So let's get Joe Biden for the next term.
Okay. Scott, I'll let.
Okay. All right. We're good. We're good.
Nice
Time out.
Weekend. Roll Tide. Go Trump. Let's go Belgium. See y'all.
Thank you, Red Top.
I can't believe it.
I mean, those are the only two choices, right?
That's what it came down to. That was the election.
Yeah.
Okay.
And enough people were like, yeah, I just can't. And then we got Doug Jones. That's what we did.
Right. And you've explained that numerous times on this program, how voter fatigue from certain types of campaigns and other issues, people just don't vote, and you get.
Yeah, it's called voter
election like
suppression.
that.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I just won't go. Okay, well, good. Well, what are you going to get us? You're going to give us Doug Jones. That's what happens. That's the plan. It's the strategy. I've been in the rooms. I know. It's written down.
And it came to fruition again.
That's the way they do it. Especially in places where people have good values, like Red Top and people who are good people who want to do the right thing, and they go out to you and say, how could you ever vote for Donald Trump?
Yeah.
And people are like, oh, I couldn't. Well, you know what? You probably should just vote for no one. Yeah, that's what I need to do. That'll prove that I'm good. Ta-da!
No, presto.
You happen to get the person who talked you into not voting wanted. Hey, I don't like your values. I don't believe in any of that, but I can use them against you gladly. Let's go to Rokon Tour if we have time. Rokon Tour, welcome to the program. Sorry, we don't have a whole lot of time before the break.
No worries. Good morning.
Good morning.
I'd like to offer Joe Scott with Red Top. He can bring the Belgian waffles, and I'll bring the Yorkshire pudding.
Fair enough.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Hey, I saw France play last night. Oh, Rokon Tour went away. Doggone it. Yeah, everything went. So I'll do the part of the update, and maybe Rokon Tour can call back. I saw France play last night, Sky. We didn't have any business playing France.
That bad.
The United States. France is good. I don't even know what I'm watching. You know what I'm saying? You know how they say things, well, you know it when you see it?
Yeah. You saw it.
I saw it.
Yeah. They are the odds-on favorites.
They're
the heavy favorites.
France is good. Now, Belgium was good when they beat us. France is better than them, like just markedly better than them.
That's scary.
France just does.
Belgium
just
made the
kinda,
USA look pretty.
Yes. Like I said, we're a good Tier 2 team. We're not in Tier 1. Belgium's in Tier 1, but France is good. Now, they could be off, but Morocco, who was also good, it just wasn't in the same class. So it's gonna be interesting the rest of the way out. But the French are good.
Yeah, they're going to win it all, I'm afraid.
It looks like it.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I checked the handicapping and was surprised. I'm not going to get fooled again on this soccer thing. So I did a little more.
I'm not going to be sucked in again.
Yeah, this time I did a little more research, and it's legit. With the USA out there and the suckers, they've been cleaned already. So
now it's real prognostication.
It's legit now.
We got it. So at the top of the hour, we have Christian Lightheart is going to be with us with the Cultural Center with 1819 News. We'll have a good little conversation with him in that first segment. Maybe we can get Raconteur back on the other side. I didn't lose my mind too much, did I?
No, not at all.
Okay.
Not with him.
I mean, I feel bad when I argue with people sometimes, but I just
Now,
it's
now
tough
with
on
Red
me.
Top, it was a little more, involved there.
A little more, yeah.
I think Red Top. I think Raconteur just kind of got dropped there.
Yeah, I think his phone messed
I think
up,
he's
but
upset at all.
not mad at Red Top. You think Red Top's mad at me? Maybe
He's
a little.
peeved this morning.
Maybe a little. Well,
Just
I
a
mean.
little.
I mean, look, there's only if I didn't see this stuff first person and know it, and I wasn't in the rooms with people going he, can you believe he. If I didn't see that stuff, I might not be as sensitive as I am about
Once you've lived it,
when I know they worked us over.
yeah, once
you
you've
know,
lived it like
for
that. And
what?
you explained it on the program how it works and how these smear tactics suppress the vote.
Well, sometimes people don't listen to the program. They call, but they don't listen.
Oh.
There are those at times. We got to take a break. Y'all don't want to miss it. A lot of stuff to do on this What the Flip Friday. We'll be back.
Scott Beason, president of ARP, Alabama Recovering Politicians.
Everybody, this is Alabama Unfiltered Radio. This is the segment, the part of the week where we focus on the Fred and Rita Skelton Center for Cultural Renewal. You can find that over at 1819 News. It is one of the projects they have, and the Skelton family is making that possible. Again, the Skelton Center for Cultural Renewal. In the spirit of Nehemiah, 1819 News and the Skelton Center seek to rebuild the walls of culture and good society while defending against the attacks of those who seek to corrupt the youth and degrade our civilization. So my next guest is Christian Lightheart. I hope I am saying that right. Christian, welcome to the program. I hope you are well, and we appreciate you taking some time.
Thank you, Scott. And you did get my name right.
So it is Lightheart. Very good. Well, a couple of weeks ago, I ran across a clip of a gentleman talking about Gen Z and to some extent Gen Alpha, and that they were involved in this movement to get away from the digital world more, purchasing analog things, trying to go back to vinyl records as much as possible, many of them purchasing flip phones. A certain percentage of the population had deleted at least one social media app that they had been using. This whole idea of, hey, let's get away from some of that and go back to, just things you can feel, tactile, feel and hold and work like they're supposed to, and don't have batteries and don't fry your eyes out. And then your article pops up, which is titled "Books Are Inconvenient, and That's a Good Thing."
Yes. Based on observation, I would say you're absolutely correct. I recently was on an airplane and saw a number of people, more than I was expecting, who were carrying physical books with them, were not on their phones the whole flight. And that was really encouraging to me.
I think there's a chance that, I look at it from the viewpoint of an older man, where I'm to the point of, look, I just want things to work. When my car doesn't crank, I don't want to find out it's the fusion generator so-and-so computer controlled display, and it's going to be $3,000 and the thing's the size of a quarter. But your article talking about just the beauty, the amazingness of books really encapsulates really where I hope we're going as a country. And so if you would tell a little bit about your article and what you're trying to get people to learn or think about or to consider from it.
Absolutely. The thrust of the article is essentially that inconvenience can be a good thing. Inconvenience shows that you value what you're doing. You know, they say you can tell what people value by what they spend time and money on.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're spending your money buying physical books, you're spending your time reading, inconveniencing yourself to store them and move them, it shows that you value what's in the book.
Right.
If you're just constantly scrolling and flipping, it's hard to make a case that you value each tweet that scrolls by or each Instagram post you double tap on. So that was kind of, I'm just using books as one example of how you can show your value system based on inconveniencing yourself for its sake.
Yeah, I guess my wife would say is the things that take some work to use or to acquire, those are the things you value. And
Exactly.
like I have a watch that my son made for me, and it has to be wound. Well, it's a self-winding, but you gotta have it in your hand and you flip it back and forth to wind it up, and it winds while you're wearing it. And so almost every day it will stop before the next day overnight because I take it off right when I get home. And you know what? I absolutely enjoy having to reset that watch every day. And when I look at it, I'm like, that's that watch. I mean, there is a bond that kind of builds because I have to do that. It's also very similar to go with your article. When I go to church, I want to carry my Bible, my physical Bible, open the pages, feel the pages, see the words. And then I've had buddies who are like, well, look, I just have mine on my phone. To me, in my world, and I know I'm weird, Christian, but the book just seems more real to me than what is coming out of my phone, even though I know the words are the same. There's just something about that, holding it, seeing it.
Well, and you can see there are some holdovers in our culture that we still value the physical work. I mean, imagine you've probably gotten fundraising letters in the mail.
Mm-hmm.
And if the person is serious about what they're doing, they will sign the bottom of the letter with a physical pen, and you can see the ink on the page and the impression of their pen.
Right.
And they do that because they know that you'll sense a value in what they've done. They've inconvenienced themselves in order to make a personal connection with you.
Yeah. No, that makes perfect sense. And I did not know you had in the article that some of these libraries, like at MIT, were getting rid of their libraries. Like, just are they just getting rid of all their books?
Well, my information about this came from the faculty newsletter that I linked to in my article.
Right.
So I got information from the professor who was writing about it. I do know from other articles I've read that there have been libraries that have literally dumped books in dumpsters because they couldn't, like, the process of trying to rehouse tens of thousands of volumes is so inconvenient for them.
Right.
So expensive that they can't be bothered to find another home for them. And that's not something they can just ask people to do. Hey, can you take our 60,000 volumes?
Right.
That takes a significant amount of space and time to organize them, and so the convenient solution is to just landfill them all.
Just dump them. Yeah, I have a set of books. I think I'm trying to make sure which one came from where. I think I have most of a set of the Harvard 5-foot library. You might be familiar with it or whatever. It was Harvard said if you read all these books, you would be genuinely a well-educated person. And so they had this 5-foot set. And where I got that was from a library throwing them out.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, how do you do that? And not to mention, I know this is not the crux of your article, Christian, but I wanted to ask them, what books did you keep or buy to throw this out? Just basically a compilation of classic literature.
Mm-hmm. This is going to depress you a little bit, but I know that one of the libraries at MIT is being converted into a 24-hour study center with desks and tables and chairs, comfy chairs for students to work in the middle of the night. So it is being used, the university is using it as a study space, but in their minds, it's better served for students on their laptops accessing documents that way rather than having physical books available to them.
Yeah. And then again, this is outside of your article, but I think it goes with it. A question to be asked. What happens to all that knowledge? They can tell me that they're scanning those books into a database, but can I go into that database and it says Christian Lightheart did something or another in 2005, and I just go in there and change it to say that Scott did it, not Christian, but you can't do that in books that were in libraries.
Well, I don't know this for a fact. I read an article about it, but the Internet Archive, it's a public service for archiving books and other culturally significant materials.
Right.
I read on their website that they have a physical copy of every book that they scan.
And they keep it. That is...
They keep it. They've got this giant, super inconvenient facility where they have the copy of the book that they've scanned in.
That is amazing. I want to give you the last word, Christian. I want everybody to go and read your article, and then I'll tell them about it again after the break. But what do you want to pass on to our listeners? They know they can find your article over at 1819 News, all at the Skeleton Center for Cultural Renewal. What's your final word on it?
Well, I just want to say pursue inconvenience, pursue friction like your watch that you have to wind every day. Those little moments are going to make you pause and be aware of your surroundings and honestly give thanks, be grateful for the world around you. And it really takes that pulling yourself out of the slick world of the internet and back into the physical world where things are inconvenient and take trouble and time. And I think that's a really healthy thing. So I encourage people to do that.
Christian Lightheart, that's the best thing I've heard in a while. Sky, my producer, is like giving you the thumbs up, power fist or whatever,
Gratitude.
strength. So we appreciate you greatly, and we look forward to talking with you soon.
Thank you very much.
Hey, thanks. So that is Christian Lightheart. He's you can find his article over at 1819 News. It is part of that Skeleton Center for Cultural Renewal. Go check it out. We'll be right back.
Scott Beason, president of ARP, Alabama Recovering Politicians.
Alabama Unfiltered Radio with Scott Beason.
Yeah, I know people on YouTube can't hear it, but Southern Man don't need him around anyhow. Absolutely. You know, every day that passes turns out that the South is just a better place. Now, we need to do everything we can to hold on to the things that we have, and we do not need to become New England. We do not need to become California. We need to hold on to the beauty of the South, admit the mistakes we've made, but also at the same time hold on to and celebrate the fact that on most things we were right and have been right. The ones we're wrong about, like any good person, we say, hey, you know what? My bad.
Speaking of being smeared by the media.
Oh, it's unbelievable.
They always go hardest at their strongest enemies.
Yes.
That's why they had to come after the South first, and still do.
No doubt about it.
All the time.
Questions for people. Do we have is that a new caller? Who is that?
No, Robert's been on. He's it hasn't been a while, but he's
well, before we get started back up, do we want to do our World Cup update since we got cut off? We were literally in that.
Being that Roken Tour got disconnected.
Let's do that. Roken Tour, welcome back to the program.
Hey, we'll try it again. It's a government conspiracy. My only saving grace was that you kept mispronouncing my name, so the government opened multiple files, but now you're getting better at it. They found you.
That's entirely possible. So give us the updates. What's happening? When you got cut off, you may not have been able to hear us, but I told Sky I watched part of the France-Morocco game, match, whatever they want to call it, and I can just say the United States. How do you say it where we all can understand it here? Don't want none of that smoke.
Exactly, which is why I said France compared to Ohio State. We got 7 teams left and 8 days until the finale.
Yep.
So, yeah, France looked really good in beating Morocco. The real question is, did France beat Africa or did Africa beat France? Because France was fully stocked with African nationals and Morocco was fully stocked with French national players.
Is that really what it was? The Moroccans were playing French players?
They recruited like 5 or 6 French players with dual nationality, yes.
Wow. That's funny. That is really funny.
So,
well, hey.
and speaking of dual nationality, in breaking almost news, it's being reported that there's a new soccer team being formed in Montgomery, Alabama, called the Pine Box Players. They've hired Tommy Tuberville as their head coach and Marche Johnson as their first player. They said they could do that because of the dual citizenship and residency requirements. So they asked the team's PR person, Randy Owens from the Supergroup Alabama, for a comment. He said, "I'm home in Alabama no matter where I lay my head."
Did you say the Pine Boxers?
Yeah.
The Pine Box Players.
The Pine Box Players. Wow. My home's in Alabama, no matter where I had. He would also say, and you need to. Never mind.
Yeah,
it had something to do with the casino. So Roke on tour. Who's up tonight and tomorrow? What do we got over the weekend?
Tonight is Spain versus Belgium, a.k.a. Alabama versus Penn State.
Roll Spain.
That one.
Okay.
And then tomorrow will be the conclusion of the quarterfinals with Norway and England, which will be a good match.
Is there any way Norway can win?
So, yeah.
Okay.
England has a history of getting up for big games and then just doing something stupid to lose it.
Okay, great. Well, that's how they lost their global empire.
Pretty much sums it up. Yeah.
Well, I'll sum up England soccer for you. When they were playing Mexico, they had a player, a substitute, who did not even get into the match, yelling at the referee, who yellow carded him while he was on the bench. Then after the game was over, he tried to jump the little advertising banners there on the side of the field and fell and broke his arm.
Man.
See, that would be me, Roke on tour. That's what would happen to me.
Man.
Yeah.
goodness.
Never even got in the game. Got a yellow card and injured.
Yeah, and never even
rough.
got in the game. So just to end on a positive note, we're going to have some beautiful sunsets over the next couple of weeks because of the Sahara dust. Scientists tell us that it deposits 22,000 pounds or tons of phosphorus a year in the Amazon rainforest, and it fertilizes everything. And it all comes from the Badele Depression in the Sahara Desert in Chad. So my question is, with us instead of trying to get all those fertilizers out of the Persian Gulf, straight for booze, why don't we just go to Chad and get it?
Just dig it up. I hear you, brother. Good idea.
Yeah.
Roke on Tour, thanks for the call.
Have a good one.
You too. Who you cheering for with the England, Norway?
I've got to be from Norway.
I'll be for Norway,
It's very difficult
too.
to be for Britain.
It
at this
is.
point.
It is. And then they got
They
the
won't be
big,
for
the big
themselves,
goofy
you know?
Viking guy that everybody loves.
Yeah.
I don't know who to be for Belgium and Spain, though. I was going to be for Spain.
Well, now that I know that they're the Alabama sister soccer team.
Yeah, but
I have to be for
Spain is a
don't I?
bunch of commies.
Well,
Maybe the soccer players aren't. You know what I'm saying? We're
I
not
bet they're
responsible.
I bet they're not.
I don't know. I mean, look, you know, you want to say, oh, no, they're solid because they're athletes. But look at the American soccer team. They're splitting their pay from doing so well in the World Cup. They're splitting it half with the women's soccer team. Do you know that?
That's socialism in action.
Remember
right
a couple
there.
years ago when the women's soccer team was just whining and moaning and the whole
Pay us
9 yards?
more.
They
Pay us more.
agreed. The whole American soccer thing, they did the whole, hey, we're the same, it's awesome. So they're literally splitting it. So the women's soccer team is getting half of the windfall that the players are supposed to get. They're getting half. Now, to be fair, the men will get half of what the women earn.
Oh, that check's in the mail, I'm sure.
I think they said the revenue was like 10 times more for the men's tournament, or maybe 20. It's something astronomical.
They got chumped.
Well, you know, what were they supposed to
They
do?
couldn't.
You know, it's like the legislature. They go to them and they're like, hey, Mr. U.S. soccer player, don't you think it's – what's he going to say? If he says no, he's a scumbag, terrible, awful, will probably be protesting against him. And it's soccer, Sky.
Okay, so they got extorted and they capitulated, and now they're losing half their earnings. that
So
they
when
earned
so
fair
when
and
people
square.
say in America it's a commie sport,
Well, I guess they're right.
it's at best a socialist sport.
I want to see that socialist, that wealth, that of collectivism extended to Hollywood next, where these actors that get paid, you know, millions and millions and millions of dollars.
Sharing it with the guys who are holding the cameras.
Yeah, well, with the starving actors and actresses out there.
Well, yeah.
You know, I think they should get a flat fee for each film. You know, who couldn't live on
Yeah, because
$300,000?
if you're really good, you'll get to do a lot more things, and
That's right.
It's kind of like
Share that
NIL.
wealth.
Yeah, take it away from the big studios and spread it among all the players.
Yeah, and you know, maybe give something back to all the problems in Los Angeles where they're located.
That'd be good.
I
Yeah.
haven't heard a word about any of this, and they make so much money, and they're always giving themselves awards. Have you noticed that?
Yeah. Well,
They've
we
got
do
these
that.
Shows after shows after yeah. But, I mean, we are pikers,
but we're
compared to
pretending,
these
and we
things.
tell people we made it up.
and they make these glorious speeches about it and everything. But when it comes to their pocketbook, I don't ever see
Well,
them.
they're not getting off of it. Well, I mean, look, who's going to buy all the tequila businesses and make more money if you give all your money away to those lowly, scummy actors? I did big things on that couch for this part. Don't be taking my money.
Yeah,
That makes you look like a really, really, really high dollar prostitute, doesn't it? Doesn't
Yeah,
it?
it does. And not only that, I think if they expanded that whole socialism, you know, live it, learn it, know it, I think a lot of these actors would be a lot quieter about their political affiliations.
They would leave it.
Yeah, that's the phrase that pays right there.
Robert, don't go anywhere, man. I got to get you on the other side. We need to take a real quick break, and we will be right back.
Scott Beason, president of ARP, Alabama Recovering Politicians.
Alabama Unfiltered Radio with Scott Beason.
Welcome back in, everybody. Let's get out to your phone calls. Robert, welcome to the program. I hope you are well. Thanks for holding on.
Good. Thank you. Thank you very much. Hey, I just want to tell you, I really enjoy your show. I used to travel all over Florida listening to daytime radio when I was on the road, and you're one of the best shows I've heard. I really enjoy it.
I appreciate that, Robert. Thank you. We try hard to be a little different. I think it may come naturally.
That's easy, Tom.
I'm going on 60, and I first got really involved in politics about 2008, the 2008 election.
Yes, sir.
And, me and my wife and even my little youngins, we used to go out to tea parties. Remember the tea parties? We held signs and got yelled at and flipped off and everything else. And, and I thought I was a Tea Party conservative, and that old can we used to kick down the road, if you remember that one.
Mm-hmm.
But nowadays, just everything's changed so much. You watch Fox News, and I don't really know where I stand anymore, because I just want to name a few topics here, and you take like the data centers. All right, if I watch Fox News and I'm not for data centers, and I don't think it's necessarily, it needs to be looked at a lot more, and we need to have a lot more discussion about these billionaires, and the future of our water system, things like that. There just needs to be a further discussion here. But if I'm not for that, I'm anti-capitalist and a Marxist.
That's what they make it sound like. Yes, I get the same feeling.
Yep. And on the topic of Iran, if I'm not for starting wars and emptying our oil reserves and then merging our military with Israel that has way too much influence in our elections, then I must be an anti-Semite.
Yep.
And then, take the Charlie Kirk thing. Okay, sure looks like the guy did it, but there's still a lot of questions to be asked. Like, I've been in firearms my whole entire life, and a full metal jacket 30-06 does not go through his neck. I don't understand that. For the life of me, needs to be a lot of explaining there. And I just want to say it was Ronald Reagan that said, I didn't leave the Democratic Party left me. That's kind of the way I feel about MAGA right now. Mm-hmm. And I was Trump before it was cool to be with Trump. When he came down that escalator, I said, that man right there is going to win. And people thought I was crazy. About gay marriage, I said, you give them an inch, they're going to take a mile.
Right.
Then some. You give them a mile, they're going to take 100. But now I don't, I maybe it's identity crisis, but, I don't really feel like where I stand, or is it just critical thinking? We just want to get rid of that completely. We don't want you to ask questions, or just go along, get along. It's a team sport. Follow your team.
Well, I can tell you this, Robert. I feel the same way you do, kind of the way you laid it out, almost to the point. Ann Eubank, when she comes in one day a week, I could probably speak for her and say she feels the same way. I don't want to speak for Sky, but anybody who actually looks at what's going on and takes the time to say and ask any questions will have an uneasy feeling about a lot of things. Not everything. It's like President Trump. I'm with him 90% of the time. Hey, let's go. But there are things that I'm like, wait a minute, what exactly are we doing? And I think people like you and I expect an explanation, and then that explanation ought to be generally a good explanation. Great example. You didn't bring it up, but it's one of the things that bothers me to the core. What happened to the Epstein files? What happened to all the people? And when the president comes out and basically says, well, if you're still interested in what all was going on, and a lot of very powerful friends of the president's apparently had their names marked out at specific times. I saw Thomas Massey pointing out one that was very, very questionable. And then when I'm told, well, you're not MAGA, you don't care about Make America Great Again if you're concerned about little kids being not just trafficked, possibly sacrificed and all sorts of things, that causes me a lot of angst. And I think there are a lot of Americans out there, Robert, that feel the same way. There's just not a lot of outlets that are making that clear to people. You remember how Rush Limbaugh used to say that part of his thing was making people realize they weren't the only conservatives, that there were other conservatives, and that most Americans actually believe conservatively. That's one of the things he would mention every so often. I kind of feel like here on this program, we're trying our best to let Alabamians and Americans know, hey, there's a lot of us asking questions. We don't necessarily know all the answers, but we expect a decent reason for the things we're doing. And so I think you're not in the minority. I just think Fox News and some national commentators are happy with making you feel like you're the only one, and you're not.
Yeah, I totally agree. It's just, I mean, when, this past 4th of July weekend, when I'm looking at steaks that say Publix and they're $18.99 for what I used to pay $6.99 for just a few years ago.
Oh, you got those on sale.
Yeah. Yeah, well, just a few years ago, it wasn't that long ago that you could get $7.99, $6.99 a ribeye.
Yeah, I know.
Not now.
Yeah.
And no one talks about this. No one seems to discuss it. And emptying our oil reserves. And I remember Biden was doing that. There was an election coming up, and everybody was arguing about the oil reserves. You don't hear anything about that now.
Right.
So,
no, I'm with you. Well, look on the oil prices. So they just say, there might be a problem in the strait. Oil, gas prices at the pump in, Hertzahatchee, Alabama, go up instantly. A couple weeks ago, the Sky looked it up.
Yeah.
When a price for a barrel of oil was the same thing it was last week, gas was what, $2.25, Sky? Isn't that what you looked up?
Right.
And we were paying $3.25. So it can go up in a moment's notice. But, going down, we'll get around to it eventually.
Yeah.
We've been monetized. And
we're just the herd, man.
On us now. Yeah.
We're just the herd. But keep up the fight, Robert. It's not just you, brother, and we're going to do it. We're going to do it here as long as they'll let us.
You are not alone.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you, guys. Have a great day.
Hey, you have a great day. Have a great weekend. I mean, he's not wrong. There's a lot of us who feel that way. We just have questions. Why can they not give us good answers? That's what gets me.
Yeah, and
just give us an answer.
The questions, depending on how severe they are met with much more resistance. That's what I've noticed.
Just the question
Certain
will end
Others are really frowned upon.
Not frowned upon in this establishment. Yeah. We got to take a break. We'll be back.
Scott Beason, president of ARP, Alabama Recovering Politicians.
Alabama Unfiltered Radio with Scott Beason.
Welcome back in, everybody. My goodness gracious, the day is flying by on this What the Flip Friday. A lot of good stuff to talk about. Let's get out to your phone calls. J. Tom, welcome to the program. Happy Friday to you.
Yeah, happy Friday. I just want to agree with Robert. You know, there's a lot of concern on both ends, but this whole thing is excellent, but it's handicapped by the politicians. And Trump, if they would turn him loose, would finish this thing and get it over with, and everything else would work out. But if you're going to attack ships, you're going to have to return from the Navy. I was in the Navy for 3 years. I was over there for 6 months. And
yes, sir.
They really respected the Navy when I was over there. They don't respect the Navy right now. But we went to all kind of places. I was in the 3-day war and didn't even know it. But we pulled out of Karachi, Pakistan. They bombed the harbor right where we were sitting. I called home and my wife said, "Are you okay?" I said, "What's wrong?" She said, "They bombed Karachi." I didn't know.
Good thing you didn't know.
Yeah, I'm glad you didn't know.
I'm here. I'm still here. 32,000 miles at sea, and I'm here. But Robert, don't worry about it. If they turn Trump loose, we're fine. And he's trying to plan our future for our grandchildren. That's what he's trying to do, and they handicap him every time he does something.
Yeah. No, I don't disagree with you, J. Tom. There are things that I have issues with, and I think Trump 95% of the time makes good decisions, but he's like all of us. He also makes decisions based on the information that he has provided or the advice he gets. And a lot of times the focus is on, well, the Trump administration did this down at this level and that level. I can't keep up just from a observation standpoint with everything that's going on. I can't imagine how much information flies by the president or how much information never makes it to the president, and then some numbskull journalist wants to say like he did it on purpose. Sometimes there's allegations of corruption. Do I know that the president knows about that? Nope. But I do know that they seem to care a lot more about possible corruption when Trump is president than they did when Barack Obama and Joe Biden were president. So part of me wants to just say, I don't want to hear it. I also know that enough about President Trump's personality, he wants to leave a legacy of being a great president. And you have to know that you're right. If they would just let him do, if the Congress would let him do some of the things that he's wanting to do, the fact that the United States Senate can't figure out how to pass the SAVE Act is just astounding. The fact that it is a big deal in the United States of America to simply say we're going to have honest, legitimate elections and we're going to try to keep people from cheating, and that's controversial, shows how far off the slope or off the cliff we really, really, really are. It proves that they know they're cheating, and apparently Republicans must be the beneficiaries of some of this cheating, or they would not be protecting the cheating.
10-4. I agree totally with that statement.
J. Tom, I appreciate you, buddy, and thanks for being a listener.
All right. Bye-bye.
You got it, man. Have a great weekend. Sky, that's one of those things that is just and I've harped on it before. That is a morality question. It's not a Christian question. It's not a some sort of religious doctrinal question. That's just plain old right and wrong.
It's
that
ethics
that anybody
Plain
can see. I mean, even a humanist, even the worst person you know, doesn't want to be cheated. They might want to cheat, but if you were trying to agree on the rules and he was afraid you would cheat him or afraid you had the advantage, one of the first things he'd say was, like, okay, let's agree that we don't cheat.
Well, you know, they always talk about bipartisan support in
Right.
politics. Well, what about the public? Here's one issue that Democrats, left, right, whoever,
85. I think it's 85% of
everybody's
Americans.
in on this because they don't want corruption in their elections are
Right.
sacred.
You know what's
particularly
funny?
in this country?
The people on the left, we'll just say regular good Democrats. I don't know how many good, there's a lot of good folks who still believe they're Democrats. Okay, they don't realize who they're being run by.
True.
Those people are like, of course I don't think anyone should cheat. I want to keep the Republicans from cheating. But their leaders are like, no. We're fine. We're fine. Just they're like over there giving them the wink and the nod, and they're not getting the signal. You know what I'm saying? They're like, hey, John, look at me. We're good. There's no cheating
Right.
going on here.
Promise.
Quit talking about it.
Yeah,
It's
very
so
uncomfortable.
bad. They're on the same team. It's the
You gotta
uniparty.
believe it. Yeah, and it's coming up. If you don't believe it before, just take a look now.
Yeah.
It's obvious. They're not even making such a strong effort to hide.
They're not even pretending anymore. And they're basically like, what are you going to do about it? Yes, you know it, but we can buy enough ads for the person who doesn't know their backside from a hole in the ground. They'll vote with us because the ads, and they'll either pick the Republican we want or the Democrat we want, and we wanted both of them. We'll take either, and the rest of you who know can sit down and shut up.
Yeah. Heads they win, tails we lose.
We got to take a break. We'll be back.
You're listening to Alabama Unfiltered Radio with Scott Beason.
Scott Beason, president of ARP, Alabama Recovering Politicians.
Alabama Unfiltered Radio with Scott Beason.
Welcome back into the program, everybody. This is Alabama Unfiltered Radio. Let me go ahead and give some credit where credit is due, because people will sometimes say, well, you don't say good things when you have a chance. I do. Well, I try to. United States Senator Katie Britt, there's a story over at 1819 News by Daniel Taylor. Headline, They Actually Hate America. Britt blasts Democrats' disgusting and despicable embrace of socialist candidates. On Thursday, Britt said on Fox News Channel's Hannity show that the Democrat Party has lost its way and is now beholden to radicals who don't have America's best interest at heart. Quote, I think what we are seeing is beyond alarming, and I think the Democratic Party has been taken over by the far left, by the Democratic Socialists of America. And what we find is the common thread between all of them is that they actually hate America. When you look at the policies they are putting forth, they're policies that ultimately take away our freedoms. They create dependency on government. Now, she is absolutely right about that. I'm glad to see the senator saying that, so I will give her credit for that. And what I would ask of her and other Republicans is, as the Democrat Party continues to careen far to the left, let us not take the Republican Party, who is also careened to the left. Let's not make our plan, hey, let's just be the old Democrats while the Democrats become the socialist.
Yes, as they continue to move us left with their extremism.
They go left and we get pulled left, trying not to be extreme. It's what, who was it said it earlier? The party didn't leave me.
Reagan,
he was quoting Reagan.
He was quoting Ronald Reagan, yes.
I didn't leave the party left me. Let's try to keep the Republican Party at least conservative, somewhat conservative, instead of letting it get pulled to the left as the left goes further left. It's not like we have to be 3 yards apart, okay? And then when the left pull, we're not yoked to them. Yes, we're pulling the wagon of the country, and just because they're trying to go left doesn't mean we have to go left and stay 3 feet away from them. Let's have a bright, shining difference between the two.
But you might be called a bad name if you don't.
Somebody might say something bad about you on Facebook. Oh, no. I can't imagine someone saying something bad about you.
Well, we're very sensitive as a group, conservatives.
We are, because we're nice.
And we capitulate to that threat of being called a bad word or a bad name.
Yeah. We don't want anyone to think we're mean.
Gonna have to grow up a little bit.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look, we've had a lot of training on it. I mean, when our churches decided that we would tone down the gospel and be, what was the term? Seeker-friendly. Oh, we want to be seeker-friendly on Sunday because if we say something straight out of God's word on Sunday, it might upset the person who's in our church who we wanted to stay in our church, and they may not come back. So let's not preach the word. Let's be seeker-friendly. Well, I mean, hey, when that happened to us, and we decided that one of the fruits of the Spirit was tolerance, we began to get pulled left. And when our teachers who help us with morality and right and wrong get soft, then we get soft when it comes to politics, and we have been pulled left as the left has gone left. And so I'm very, very happy. I agree with Senator Britt on this, and hopefully that Senator Britt and others will pull to the right so that there is a bright, shining line between us and the left. Democrat light will not save the country.
No, as Britain, the UK, is finding out, virtue really is tolerance is the last virtue of a dying society.
Yeah, there's no doubt.
It looks like it.
I used to say that, look, the difference between the Republicans and the Democrats is the Democrats are driving the train at 60 miles an hour to the trestle that is out. Republicans say, vote for us. We'll only drive the train 20 miles an hour towards the trestle that is out. We're still going off the trestle, right?
Yeah, just enjoy the ride a little more.
Yeah,
right.
I mean, it'll take a little longer. It'll be a little smoother. It won't be quite as, we won't be as anxious before we go off. But can we find the people that are wanting to take the side track to avoid the bridge that's out? That's who I want to find. And we keep taking those people. President Trump tries to get us off, and we want to hamstring him at every turn. The people that are over on the side trying to help throw the switch so the sidetrack will go on the sidetrack, we're shooting them from the train. Mitch McConnell's boys, hey, you're out, you're out, you're out, you're out, you're out, you're too radical, you're out. That's what we're doing. The guys on the side going, hey, the trestle's broken down, the bridge is out. We're like, don't talk to me, you fascist.
Literally shoot the messenger.
This is nuts what we're doing. Let's go. Let's got some people on topic before we keep moving on. Let's go to who's up first, guys?
James will be.
James, welcome to the program. I hope you're well.
Well, James, why did you shoot the man from the train? Your Honor, Scott Beason, if you'll go back and listen to the podcast, it was Scott Beason that influenced me to pull the trigger.
To shoot the guy from the train, yes.
You can distinctly hear and go, pow, 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 pow.
It was a very realistic sounding special effect as well.
No Star Wars in that one. No.
You might want to slip in there that this is some sort of disclaimer. Okay.
Yeah.
This is just me having fun. I'm not trying to influence anybody to go out with their pistols or AR-15s.
You got it.
Bazookas.
Hey, do you think Mitch McConnell's alive?
I'm not.
Here we go.
If we were doing parodies, Cart called me. He said we should be doing.
I'm not. You said something about Facebook. I remember in 2020 when some human being, let's call her Karen. Are you with me?
Yes.
Some Karen was out there posting on Facebook. She's talking about wearing mask and go roll your sleeve up or drop your pants. And there's do right now. Do right now. I wonder how that turned out for all those people that got the vaccine injuries. Oh, of course, those people that should be aware of the vaccine injuries, they don't listen to programs or read those kinds of things about vaccine injuries. They haven't heard of that, and they're still probably waiting for that 14-day period to be over when we're all going to stand 6 feet apart, and none of us can go see grandma or your stepfather or your daughter that's in the next state. They're still waiting on somebody to blow the whistle and say, okay, time out. We're going to go back now.
Mm-hmm. Go back to normal.
And here it is. Yeah. I picked up an envelope off the floor, and it's probably been on the floor since then, 2020, where, I'm going to stop. But anyhow, Scott.
Yes.
Did you have your gloves on earlier when you were beating up on Red Top, or did you take your gloves off? I mean, my understanding, now let me make sure I'm right, okay? Well, I'm on a roll here, but, before I melt my butter. My understanding is that you're in support of anybody that's on the right that is not a left-wing nut.
Yes, I would take the guys on the right before the left-wing nuts, yes, in office.
So what you're telling me is if there's somebody out there trying to pull people out of their far left-leaning craziness like DEI and some other things like that.
Okay.
Okay?
All right.
you would be out there in support of those people.
I think so. I mean, is there a trap coming? As far as your question is on the surface, yes. I mean, I'm sure there's a caveat or a catch or a place where I wouldn't be, but so far so good.
You know, there are some issues in our libraries coming from the top down on the national level, and this has been going on for quite some time, and it was exposed here in Prattville, and we've cleaned that up.
Yes.
A businessman that advertises on this network, he's one of the head cheeses at the library board, and he's gone in there, and him and some other people, praise God, have straightened this horrible book stuff out that young people could get their hands on, and they moved it into an adult section.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah. They should be credited with that. Yes.
Correct. Okay, and there are others who are trying to wake people up that, all books aren't all bad. Are you following where I'm going with this, Scott?
No.
Well, what I'm trying to suggest to you is there are some that believe only left-wing nuts are out there writing and trying to sell their material.
Okay.
And trying to enlighten.
Yes. Some people on the right are writing books as well.
Correct. That is the point I'm trying to make. It's kind of like yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
I go to the herb shop. One of you all, Carl Smith.
Is that what y'all call it? The herb shop? Is that what Red Top calls it?
That's it. That's legit.
It is the herb shop.
Okay.
It's right there in Pepper Tree Shopping Center off Vaughn in Montgomery. I was there yesterday.
Okay.
Face to face with Carl Smith, and I went over and bought. I was having an issue with a rash, and it's trying to come back.
Yeah.
But Miss Linda, lady,
sometimes it takes a shot to get rid of that, James.
Well, not that kind of rash.
Okay? Sorry, I just didn't know.
And see, I did not realize if, and here's, I'm jumping around here. The soap that she let me have a sample of a couple of weeks ago or a week ago is a probiotic. And I'm like, she didn't offer to explain to me why that would deal with the rash, but in my infinite wisdom, I have quotes there.
Mm-hmm.
If you're stimulating one type of organism to grow on the skin, it is choking out whatever it is that's causing the rash. You follow me, Scott?
Yeah, I got it.
That's how that probiotic would work on that rash. So, see, what I'm trying to get across to you is if people on the right would stay on the right, but come out there and, have a presence, maybe we could choke out some of those left-wing nuts.
That's a good point. Hey, I got to go to break, James. Thanks, bud.
Alabama Unfiltered Radio with Scott Beason.
Welcome back into the program. Let's get out to some of your phone calls. Reverend Precipitous. Reverend, welcome to the program. I hope you're well.
Well, Scott, you was about to get to us. We had a special deacon meeting about that last 15 minutes of that last half hour.
What church? What church? What's your church again?
Well, it's the First Congregational, non-denominational, Holy Church of the Commons in Hutsahatchee. And listen, you know, we have a radio station goes to 72 stations across the world.
Uh-huh.
And listen, we are tied right in. And listen, we are tied right in with John Hagee and Miriam Edelman, and you were not following the highest level of you were in need of the highest level of reconciling from over here at the church.
Yes, sir.
Now, listen,
I'm sorry.
You and Sky and them two men calling like that now, you know, we just can't have that. Now, listen, this is what's going to happen to you. You're talking about name calling. Are you ready for your name calling acronym?
Yes, sir.
Listen, you go to getting too far. You know, you did make up for yourself by talking about Miss Britt and Hannity there. We watched that live on our big screen over here at the campground. Now, listen. This is what we're going to call you, and this is the name of it. Are you ready to write down the acronym of what you're going to get when you do that again?
Yes, Reverend.
You must stay on the complete straight and now. You got to be right under Brian Dawson. Do you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Now, listen. This is it. Y'all were treacherous, uncouth, redcoat, Neanderthal, communist-oriented, atheistic, treacherous subversives.
Turncoats.
Turncoats. Listen, the deacons and us will have to drive over from Hutsahatchee over to the radio station and give you a sermon or two, maybe before Monday.
Yes, sir. I'm sorry,
Everybody
Reverend.
Have a great day. Bless y'all.
Thank you.
Take care.
I'm very repentant.
I'm going to
I
have
apologize.
to check and see if one of my associates, Reverend Ernest Lee Sincere, can guest preach over there. That sounds like his kind of church. Feel the power.
The church. What is
radio.
it? I never can remember the church.
It's the non-denominational
First Congregational Holy Church of the Commons.
Pretty close.
Something like that.
I get lost.
Well, you know.
But
they got out of the Baptist Convention a long time ago.
They did.
Let's go to Paul P. Paul P. Welcome to the program.
Paul. Hey, Paul.
Hey, Paul P.
My throat was dry, and I was thinking about picking up some water there and chugging some. And about that time, I heard you coming to me, and I'm like, well, can't drink no water right now.
Can't drink either. What's up, buddy?
Scott, I'm not really on topic at all. I've been in and out of the car and in and out of the truck ever since y'all been on.
Yes, sir.
But I got one question, and
Okay.
it just pummels me. I asked Sky earlier, I called. He says, you need to ask it.
Yes, sir.
I remember some of it, but I don't remember exactly how it goes.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the show, that little boy or that child that says, can you wear your can, Scott Beason?
Yeah, just get here when you
All
can.
kind of laughter.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you hear all kind of laughter in the background. What was that alluding to?
Couple of things. I'm notorious my whole life probably for being about 5 minutes late. I've never been the get there 15 minutes early person. Usually because I always think, you know what? I can do one more thing before I leave. If I can get this done, or I can get that done, or I'm almost done. I hate to leave a project partially done, and then that puts me a couple minutes behind. And then, but that is
traffic.
Yeah. Then I hit traffic, especially, and even if I leave early, then I hit traffic, and I'm 5 minutes late anyway. But that is a clip from an old show at an old station, where we used to have one day a week, we would have the host from 4 or 5 different shows would all do an hour of a show together. And that all coming together happened about 2 or 3 hours before my show would come on. So I would have to get there early. And one of the hosts, his little boy was, God, I don't know, maybe 4 years old or something. And they had put him up to it. Yeah, yep. And so I get there, and he's like, just get here when you can, Scott Beason. Just get here when you can. And they all thought it was great fun. And I have used that on my show ever since for years, almost from the moment I've got my show by myself, because I was a co-host at that time. I've used it at the end of my show the whole time. And that little boy, I think, is maybe a senior in high school now.
And it was totally spontaneous, right? That was not like a retake to get it right.
No. That is the
best part.
That's the full out deal. That's why all the laughter sounds real, because it is absolutely real.
That's authentic.
Yeah, that's what it is, Paul P.
I always wondered. That kind of sounds like me. I'm always trying to get one more thing done, and I've had several friends and a lot of relatives tell me, "You're going to be 10 minutes late for your own funeral."
I know. Hey, look, I would say it's a fault, but, we got to get that one thing that it bothers me. It'll bother me the whole day if I was that close to being finished and didn't finish.
Exactly. I know exactly where you're coming from, because I'm the same ding-dang way. If I'm starting on it and I'm going to finish it, and my wife, don't start that. You're not going to have. Oh, yes, I will.
That's right. It won't take me, but it'll take me 10 minutes.
Exactly.
Those are always one.
Thanks, Paul
in
P.
The relationship, one's always late, and the other one always wants to be on time.
That's all right. That's exactly
I've been
right.
both. Just, I really don't understand that.
You don't know which one?
No, I'm the guy that's got to be on time.
There you go. She's
like some natural order of nature that has to make it that way.
Absolutely. Hey, Paul P., just get here when you can.
I plan to be on time.
Oh, you got it, man. Hey, thanks for the call.
Yeah, man. That's good.
Have a great weekend. We got to take a break, Sky?
Yeah,
let's take that break, and then we'll be right back.
Scott Beason, president of ARP, Alabama Recovering Politicians.
Alabama Unfiltered Radio with Scott Beason.
Welcome back, everybody. Not a lot of time left in the day. Let's get out to your calls again. Let's go to Clark. Clark, welcome to the program. I hope you are well.
I'm all good, Scott. So early in the program,
Mm-hmm.
we were talking about all the nationals being on the same page.
Yes.
Scott, it occurs to me that all the nationals run the same exact ads for the same exact products, too. Kind of makes you wonder, don't it?
It
So
does.
there's
It
that.
does seem a little bit like there's some commonalities. They're on the same train, pulled by the same engine.
Yes. Now, you said Doug Jones did not get elected on the strength of Doug Jones. I know exactly whose strength he got elected on, and that was Mitch McConnell.
That seems to be pretty doggone true. Yes.
Yes.
It seems like it.
Let's see. Team Mitch, to include Jeff Flake, the deceased John McCain, Massey Cornyn, Murkowski Collins, and they're there to ensure that nothing conservative ever gets through the Senate.
Mm-hmm.
And the other thing I'll say about Mitch is he's always done his level best to make sure that the Republicans in the Senate have held the minority. And if the Republicans happen to lose the minority, Mitch has always had a plan to regain the minority. So there's that.
No, and Mitch McConnell is notorious for letting conservative Republican nominees hang out to dry. He would rather the Democrat win than a, quote, radical conservative win.
Yes.
Yeah, no, he's done that in a number of states.
I know he's done it here twice.
Yeah, he has.
I have to extrapolate and figure, yes, it's happened in a lot of states. So, yeah, I personally kind of blame him. And, you know, the last thing on Mitch before I move on with other Senate stuff, the information on his condition has kind of reminded me of a Soviet leader with a cold.
Yeah, let me ask you this. Have y'all seen what's wrong with him? Like, look, if I'm out, and I get it, other people are more private than I am. I understand. But you're a U.S. Senator. If I was in Congress or in the Senate, Sky, and I had, you know, a heart attack or a stroke or whatever, don't you think my wife or my family would be like, hey, look, he's doing well. He had a heart attack, but he's getting better. Why is everything with like Mitch McConnell and them just super, super, super secret?
I have a theory.
He's really dead?
Well, he may be. they don't want a special election for his seat. So the longer they can keep him propped up, the better off the Uniparty is going to be.
Knowing what's going on while they
Good point.
Because you know who's going to win that seat if they had a special election? Thomas Massey.
Oh yeah, they can't take that. I remember that. We talked about that the other day.
Yes.
Clark, what were you saying?
I say, are they keeping his condition a secret while they rehearse the Munchkin Land vocal band?
What is it? Ding dong, is Mitch dead?
All they got to do is turn the W upside down, and they ain't even got to change the sheet music. It just all stays the same.
Don't sing it; it's copyrighted.
Yeah. It'll be. We won't be able to have it on the show on YouTube.
Yeah.
So we can't look. It would be in bad taste if he was actually dead and we played that. But since they said he's not, we could do it as a question, right?
Wait, Scott. He leaves a bad taste in my mouth, so there's that. Now, why is Graham Plattner not under arrest? There have been allegations of rape made, and apparently every Democrat, not in just Maine, but America, thinks that they're credible. And the man has not been charged. I find this interesting. And who did they run him to beat, Scott?
Susan Collins.
Susan Collins is the senator that they are desperate to beat here. So, briefly on Susan Collins, what?
Susan Collins never votes for us when we have to have her.
There it is. She will never be there when the Republicans need her, but you know when she'll always be there?
When she's not necessary.
When the Democrats
when the Democrats need her. Okay, yeah.
She will always be there when the Democrats need her, never when the Republicans. So, other than Senate Majority Leader, why do they care about Susan? I don't know. There's something interesting going on there too, Scott. I don't know.
Good question.
Stuff to contemplate. You probably got somebody else with smarter stuff to listen to, so I'll hang up and listen to them.
Thanks, Clark. I appreciate it. What did we decide? Ding dong, is Mitch dead?
I believe that was the lyric.
Is old Mitch dead? Mitch is dead. Is Mitch old dead? Ding dong. I don't want him to die. That's a terrible thing.
Of course not.
But I do. I would like him out of the Senate. Can we agree to that?
Yes. I mean, that's the rules, okay?
Right.
Not that we go by them, or they go by them anymore, but that's how it's supposed to work. So why the big secrecy?
My thing is,
United States, I mean,
can't these people just look? If when you get old, when I get old, all right, Sky, I need you to do this one. Promise me.
All right.
Of course, you're older than me, so I don't know how it's going to work. We're both going to be wandering around lost. We won't even know. But when I'm too old to do it, to do the show, to do whatever I'm doing, will somebody in my family please say, hey, look, it's time. You got to stop.
Very kind.
They know you're not sharp.
It is so sad to see somebody past their prime that just we've seen it with athletes.
Just won't give it up.
And just won't quit, and then their legacy suffers.
Yeah.
And it's just sad to watch anyway. Johnny Unitas in a Los Angeles Rams uniform, way past it.
Was rough.
Like that was tough.
Well, you know what's funny? I say
example.
They're past their prime, but what if some of these folks, including in the state legislature, what if they're there to do what they're told anyway and have been for their whole career? So just because they're not sharp enough to really think out things today doesn't mean they ever were actually thinking out their own things in the past. So maybe they're just there as placeholder puppets.
Yeah. You think?
Hey, I just need you to vote. Look, I'll tell you how to vote. You just be there.
Just experienced 4 years of that at the executive branch.
Yeah, all the way to the presidency.
Yeah. So of course.
That is
whatever it takes.
That is crazy. Let me ask a question that nobody. I mean, this is the most boring, mundane topic anybody would talk about, but it fits with the what the flip's going on Friday. Okay. 1819 News again. Don't forget the podcast, Brian Dawson's podcast, 1819 News, the podcast. Here's a story. ALDOT defends the I-10 Mobile River Bridge and Bayway. They've revised the toll. Hey, don't worry about it. We're going to build this thing, and your toll will only be $3 per trip. $3. $3 to go over it, and that means $3 to come back over it, right? So it's $6 for me to go to town to buy $4 gas and go to the Mexican restaurant that's going to be $85 to $100 for Mexican under this new great world the bankers have given us. And have y'all looked at this story, Sky? I mean,
I have. I heard the toll was going to be considerably higher than $3.
Well, they're trying to say that
is putting out.
Well, they're trying to say, look, we gave you a scale, and we gave you the top of the scale, and then everybody got upset about it. But we were trying to give you a number back in the $6 one because we wanted to. We didn't want people to be shocked. You get sticker shock. You know what I'm saying?
I got it.
Well, my question is, then it's not a scale. So you telling me now it's absolutely $3? Or you just telling me, well, it's still maybe 3 to 6 or 7 or maybe 8, but we're going to go with 3. Well, of course you're going to go with 3 because everybody's ready to melt the place down for $6 to $8.
Yeah, the initial attempt.
But let me ask you this, because I'm clearly not up to speed on cost. Every time I go to the store, I'm like, what in the heck? I had to go buy a thin piece of plywood for Mac's apartment. He had to move in, like a little quarter-inch stuff. I said, how much is this stuff? Because there's no price. That's the way Lowe's does it. Just you're there, and if you need it, you better get it. It don't matter. It don't matter what it costs. You know what it cost?
What it cost?
$35. I think it's $32 before tax. For a quarter-inch, but what we used to would basically, it'd be like paneling. You know what I'm saying? 30. So I've reached that age.
How big is she?
4x8 sheet.
Wow.
So I've reached that age where I'm like, to anybody standing around, hey, I remember back when. I'm that person now. Because it's unbelievable. I went to get a car wash. I don't get car washes, okay? I can wash my own car. I also believe in the protective power of dirt, okay? That's my car. I had to go get a car wash because we're thinking about selling my daughter's older car, or we are selling my daughter's older car. If you want it, it's on Facebook now, I think. It's a cool-looking Cherokee, a little bit jacked up, big wheels, whole 9 yards. I think it's jacked up. We didn't jack it up. You know how much a car wash was? Last time I went was $10.
I don't go.
Which I complained about.
I have no idea.
It's $12 and something now.
For the basic.
For just a cheapo version. Just wash it and get the dirt off. $12. But I remember it wasn't that long ago. It was $10. And I remember it was $10 because I was complaining about the $10.
Yeah, I remember that.
But now it's $12 and something. For just the plain old version.
Well,
but
water's expensive, Scott. Come on.
It is. But before the break, so y'all can listen during the commercial, this project for this bridge...
Okay.
Estimated, and they say we got to do it now. It's going to be more expensive later. $3.2 billion with a B dollars.
How long is the bridge?
Well, I did do some research and found out it's like the main part under the tower is like 1,500 feet. The whole road and everything. But it's hundreds of thousands of dollars a foot.
That's what I was getting at.
A foot. And so I start thinking, okay, well, how much concrete would $3.2 billion? Where's the debate about it being $3.2 billion? Could we just rent a whole third world country and have them and pay for them to come over here and build it by hand?
Yeah. Well, I'm sure the contractors are doing it at cost for the good of the state, right?
Why is everything K. Ivy builds has to be billions of dollars?
Well, just be glad they're not putting a prison down at the end of that tunnel, man.
Golly. Are the same people building the prison and the bridge?
Yes.
Oh, God. We'll be back.
Scott Beason, president of ARP, Alabama Recovering Politicians.